So as you can see, I have prepared all the blue, all the red, all the little yellows that you see there, and in the back there you probably can't see it, but these are the black parts, not the charcoal parts, the black. They all have been prepared onto this little this little board here, which was from the what was left over from my diorama build. I put them all on toothpicks, except for the little vents, the yellow vents that comes with this kit. Doesn't I can't put them on toothpicks. I have to put them on the clips, as you can see there. Trying not to use too much clips on this one, considering that there's a lot of small parts here. A shitload of small parts. Give me a second here. I'm trying to review something. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to prime this part. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot about this. I'm going to prime this kit, these parts, excuse me, with primer, and then I'm going to begin spray painting it. And again, to review, the blue will be gold. Now for the red, I went to my hobby store. And the hobby store was F and M Hobbies. It's located in Denville, New Jersey. For those of you who live in New Jersey, and I would kindly suggest, for those of you who need to get some parts, need to get some kits, and needs to get some supplies, head on over to F and M Hobbies. His store survived the onslaught of the hurricane, but you know, his business is kind of slow. Just as a courtesy, stop by, say hello, buy a kit. He has still got about a few Gundam kits in there, here and there, for those of you who don't have all the you know, any specific kits. He still has Wing Gundam. He still has what was it, Strike Noir. I think he has the Roselle Master Grade, and I think he has the Spallo, but the AG version of Spallo, which I have right now. I think I do have AG. No, I have the high grade version. Anyway, yeah, head on over to him, check it out. You know, buy some supplies. He has a lot of supplies there, and tell him I sent you. So anyway, I went to his store because I wanted to get some spray paint, and I was gonna get the red. And then he didn't have red, or I think he did, but I was kind of blinded in the fact that to get this one, which happens to be metallic red. Perfect for this guy. And then for the yellow, I was trying to see something different, and then I found this one. This one's TS47, also known as chrome yellow. Chrome yellow. Clearly I'm going to be using very little of this paint, because I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I forgot about this one, which is the rubber one, but I will paint it, of course. But yeah, and that one, of course, I thought I had a black spray paint. I have to look around. I know I have it. I just have to find it first. So here are the parts, what they look like before priming. And here is all the parts primed and ready to be painted. The tips was not that much painting, not that much priming at the top, as you saw there. But down here, as you can see, I've covered all the blue, all the red that was here, portions of the yellow, and then the back. This is the black color parts, which I also painted. And I thought I had black. My impression that I thought I had was black. Instead, I couldn't find it. What I did find, well, actually no, I didn't have black, but I'm glad that I purchased this one. This actually caught my eye. This is called Gunship Gray. I don't know if this is metallic or not, but I think it will probably be better to do the smaller, minute parts that is black with the gray, because of course the gray is going to be replaced with the silver. So this came out pretty good. I'm reviewing each and every part, making sure that there's no excess prime anywhere. Some parts I just assembled like this one. This is the elbow part. So as you can see, I covered it here. I put the two parts together and I painted it. So this one's going to be painted the metallic red, as I mentioned before. Something like this I don't have to worry about because it's going to be the same color. But I said let me just prime it anyway just in case, just so I can make it nice and smooth and even. So this is what the parts looks like before the priming. And here it is, all painted in gold. And I should turn this light on so you guys can see this. Yellow and red and what was it, gunship gray I said before? Yeah, gunship gray. Let me give you a better look at these parts. As you can see here, gold came out pretty nice. Just the one thing, of course, about painting with spray paints is the same issue with regular airbrushing. Don't always assume that on the first pass it's good. You got to give it a second pass to give it an extra coat. Like this one needs an extra coat right there. I also ran into a couple of problems with certain paints, like for example here. You may see this, it's been sanded down and I had to respray it again. So because like all types of spray paints, when you spray, bubbles form on the parts. And I don't know why that happens. I've shaked the cans up like multiple times before I spray, and I try to give it one pass, maybe two, but as you can see here, something like this can be a little annoying. I don't have to worry about this part, but I will give it another pass considering that only the leading edge of this part will be shown. I was like looking at the manual, saying to myself, okay, does that yellow going to be showing off some other features? Is it going to stick out, then, you know, stick out and pack back in again? And frankly, I don't see that option anywhere. Looks like it's just going to stay the way it is. Just a thin portion of the... Yeah, it's like this entire part here, only 10% of it is going to be shown. And it so happens that the 10% of it is not that covered up well. So I'm just going to give it another pass. But going again, I had to resand down some of the parts where bubbles are showing off and then give it another pass. The charcoal gray, the gunship gray, came out pretty nice. Came out pretty nice indeed. Especially, I think, this part here, which is, I think, represents the bunny ears off the Hex helmet. The gold, of course, came out pretty good. Just double checking it again, see if there's something I missed. But everything looks alright. Yeah, everything looks alright indeed. Some, like, the more smaller parts, like this little guy here, I had to be very careful and then just make sure I give it one pass, but it came out alright. And then I have the helmet, I have the face mask. And yeah, you know what, I didn't realize this and we haven't covered it yet. There are multiple parts here, you know, 2 sets of heads, 2 sets of chest plates. Which is understandable because one's going to be for the core fighter and the other one's going to be for the mobile suit itself. But you know, nevertheless, the gold came out pretty good. Yeah, this one came out alright. So I'm just gonna review some of them, look at some of the parts that needs to be, you know, repainted. Maybe give it a light pass, and then I will repeat the process again, with all the white, which it takes a long time. There's a lot of white here. Now, one thing I'm not showing off in camera is the fact that I'm also have to repeat the process again for the core booster, and there's a lot of parts for this. Oh, I almost forgot to show you. I didn't realize that there were a lot of these vents. So I made one set of the vents, which was actually painted in blue, made it gold. But there's another set of vents, in white. Here it is. And so there's a white version, and now I made a gold version. Doesn't matter. Alright. So far, so good. Let's continue on. So as I'm waiting for parts to dry up, I'm starting to look at some other parts that probably I can start building and getting out of the way. And the first part that I came across, of course, is the beam rifle, where it's a very unique design feature. Now this is the beam rifle that came with the V Gundam kit, while these parts here are the identical parts that's on the core booster fighter version. Now they're all identical except for this part here, which is supposedly black, but they decided, I guess, to attach it to the mold on this one so it's the same color. I, on the other hand, took the black one and turned it into the you know, this color, the gunship gray. And how this part of the gun is assembled. This entire frame is assembled already and sanded down. This one sanded down too. But supposedly I got to take this part, stick it onto here like so, and then this part goes under this. If I do that, it'll look okay. The only problem is I have to paint this part as well, this gun as well. And since I've already painted this one, I don't want to merge these two parts together. As well as the fact that it also has a clear part for the sight scope, so that one has to be put to the side and have that ready to assemble the gun after I finish painting it. And for this one, I may decide to use the I don't know. I think I'm probably going to be using the gunmetal, or maybe some other color, because then if I use gunmetal, it'll probably not merge well with this. Who knows? I haven't thought of that yet. But I'm currently still reviewing all the parts on this kit.